Hey yo, what is going on? My name is Electric Alex, and today I bring you this new video to celebrate the release of the Gen 4 remakes Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. After playing through all of the main series games, I know how picking the best starter is a crucial decision, since it's going to determine your playthrough for the entirety of that save file. And it can sometimes be a very difficult decision, mainly because you have to say no to the other two Pokemon for the rest of that playthrough. We haven't really had the chance to use these Pokemon since 2014, when Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire games came out. Yes, I know you could trade them if you paid for a Pokemon Bank subscription, but you could not obtain them naturally in Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Let's Go Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee, and Pokemon Sword and Shield, so at least for me it's been 7 years now without using these Pokemon. A lot of things come to play as we have to decide between the cutest one, the strongest one, the one that has the best moveset, or the one that's the easiest to train, among many other aspects. In this video today, we're going to take a deep look at all these things and many others so we can determine which of the three Pokemon is the best starter. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you may know, Sinnoh starters are no different to starters from other regions when it comes to the main type. What I mean is that in all other Pokemon games, the three starters are always structured around the grass, fire, and water type triangle. A triangle in which each type is very weak to another type and super effective to the other. However, and as opposed to the other starters in previous games, something that makes this whole thing more interesting is that all three starters have the second typing when they are fully evolved, being Grass Ground for Torterra, Fire Fighting for Infernape, and Water Steel for Empoleon. Unlike mono-type Pokemon, this means a bigger move pool, multiple same-type attack bonuses, and more resistance against some types that they would otherwise have been super weak against, and I consider all of these things as important when choosing one Pokemon over another. Torterra, being a grass-ground dual-type Pokemon, is 4 times weak to Ice-type moves, and is also weak to Flying, Bug, and Fire-type moves. Infernape's firefighting combination makes it weak to flying, ground, water, and psychic types, so overall has 4 weaknesses like Torterra. Due to the combination of water and steel type, Empoleon is the Pokemon that has the least amount of weaknesses, being only weak to fighting, electric, ground type moves, so we can say that the Piplup line is by far the one that benefits the most when it comes to dual typing, thanks to the water-steel combination. Moving on, let's start by taking a look at the stats, movesets, and abilities of this Pokemon. Stats-wise, Torterra is the worst Pokemon of the three due to its speed. I mean, it's a turtle, so it makes sense. At the beginning of the game, you can use moves like Mega Drain for recovery or Razor Leaf for high critical ratio with both Turtwig and Grottle. But even though it has a good attack and defense, his special attack and special defense are quite awful, and pretty much all the powerful grass-type moves that it can learn are special, such as Giga Drain and Leaf Storm by leveling up, or Solar Beam and Energy Ball by TM. So the only real option is to use Wood Hammer or Earthquake if you want to combine a stab move with Torterra's high base attack. The combination of being insanely slow and being weak to Ice, Flying, Bug, and Fire-type moves makes it that it can be outsped by pretty much my grandma going around Sinnoh with a wheelchair, and on top of that, being super effectively hit by some of the most typical moves in the region. When it comes to abilities, the three starters have the same abilities that all the other starters, so the typical Torrent, Blaze, Overgrow. However, hidden abilities are different for each starter. Torterra's hidden ability is Shell Armor, which prevents it from receiving a critical hit from another Pokemon in battle, which works well with Torterra's high defense. If you like Fire-type Pokemon, Chimchar evolves into the best Sinnoh Fire-type Pokemon, and was the one that was used in the anime. Sinnoh is not particularly well known for Fire-type options, not even in the Fuego Ironworks. No legendary or mythical Pokemon in this region is a Fire-type or learns any fire move by leveling up, so a Fire-type starter is a very unique option to build a team later on. The best defense is attack, and that truly shows with Infernape. This Pokemon can be a mixed attacker as it has a 104 base attack or 104 special attack, and together with a 108 base speed, this makes it one of the best offensive options in Sinnoh. Infernape not only hits hard, but most importantly, it can hit first, and hitting first is sometimes all you need in Pokemon battles. I recommend using Infernape with its signature move Close Combat or Brick Break, and Flare Blitz or Flamethrower if you're not a fan of the recall with Flare Blitz. If you're a fan of breeding and you want to make the most out of your Chimchar, I'd highly suggest breeding for a hidden ability Chimchar, which is Iron Fists. You don't know what it does? Well, that ability increases the power of punching moves by 20%, and it works perfectly with some moves like Power Up Punch, Mach Punch, Force Stab, or Thunder Punch for coverage as egg moves. Unfortunately, you cannot get a hidden ability starter directly from Professor Rowan, so you're gonna want to breed for a hidden ability starter in the daycare located in Solation Town, or wait for Pokemon Home connectivity in 2022 if you want to make the most out of your Infernape. Last but not least, Empoleon is the choice for Dawn in the anime. What makes Empoleon interesting is the Water-Steel combination, like I said, together with its defense stats. Steel type is one of the best defensive types in the game, and combined with the high special defense and the average defense, it kinda makes up for the bad speed. So in that case, like Torterra, its main weakness is its speed, but at least Empoleon is way better at enduring the most effective attacks. Empoleon has a very interesting hidden ability out of the three, which is Defiant. If you want to use a physical Empoleon, Defiant makes it viable in competitive battling as a response to Intimidate or any attack that lowers the stat of our Pokemon. With that, we'd have to combine Defiant with a physical attack moveset, focusing specially in stab moves like Waterfall or Metal Claw, even though Empoleon's best stat is the special attack, so I'd recommend using Surf or Scald as the water stab moves, or Flash Cannon if you want to teach ATM after defeating Byron. Another complementary move would be Drill Peck for coverage against grass types or Toxic. Now, in this section of the video, we're gonna take a look on how these starters can do against the most important battles in the game. This means rival battles against Barry, gym battles, Team Galactic members, Elite Four, and Champion. When it comes to using Turtwig or its evolution as a grass starter, one has to take into consideration that the first gym battle in the game is against a rock-type gym leader, so grass moves can be very useful, especially in such early stages of the game where not a lot of other options are available. Another gym in the Sinnoh region where a grass starter becomes very effective is the Pastoria City gym leader, as Crasherweg uses water-type Pokemon, as well as Sunyshore City gym Volkner, who uses electric-type Pokemon, and we can use Earthquake against all his team. So having a type advantage in 3 out of 8 gym leaders, I'd say it's not bad at all. Due to both the fighting-type moves and fire-type moves, the Chimchar line can do exceptionally well against Roark, rock-type Pokemon in Orborg City if it's evolved into Moferno before the first gym, as it learns Power Up Punch. Using its fire-type moves, Grass-type gym leader Gardenia, Maylene's Lucario, Steel-type gym leader Byron in Canalave City, and Ice-type gym leader Candice in Snow Point City are going to be super easy. So considering that there are 8 badges in Sinnoh, I'd say that having super effective moves against 5 out of those 8 regional gyms in Sinnoh is a pretty great number. Oh boy, regardless of how cute Piplup is, as you probably know by now, it is by far the Pokemon out of the 3 starters that performs the worst against Sinnoh gym leaders, with only 2 clear type advantages, which is the Rock-type gym leader in Orborg City, and the Ice-type gym leader Candice if you use Steel-type moves. I love you Piplup, but you're not gonna do well against Sinnoh gym leaders. Moving on to the Elite Four, using our Grass starter in the Elite Four can become quite the strategy against Bertha, who is a Ground-type Pokemon enthusiast. Torterra can easily destroy her Quagsire, Hippowdon, Sudowoodo, Whiscash, and Golem very easily. Torterra can also be useful against Cynthia's Milotic, but be careful with his Ice-type moves, so all in all, Torterra can be used against 6 Pokemon in the Elite Four and Champion together. When using Infernape against the Elite Four, Fire-type moves are super effective against the first member of the Elite Four, Aaron, who focuses on using Bug-type Pokemon. Infernape can destroy his Dustox, Aircross, Vespiquen, and Beautifly very easily. Infernape can also become super useful for some specific targets like Bertha, Sudowoodo, and Golem, with its fighting type moves, as well as Flint's Steelix, which is 4 times weak to fighting type moves. Another instance where Infernape can be useful is against Lucian's Bronzong and Cynthia's Roserade and Lucario. Overall, Infernape can hit very effective moves to 10 different Pokemon across the Elite Four and Champion. Using our Water Starter in the Elite Four, we can easily take down Bertha's Sudowoodo, Hippowdon, and Golem, Flint's Rapidash, Infernape, and Steelix. All in all, there are 5 Pokemons which we can hit very effectively, so I wouldn't recommend using Empoleon against the Elite Four in Sinnoh or Cynthia. Moving on to rival encounters and leaving out post-game battles with our main rival Barry, there is a total of 5 battles in which our rival has a different team depending on the starter that we picked. For the first battle in Route 203, it doesn't really matter which starter you pick, as his team will always be a level 7 Starly plus a starter that is super effective to the one that you picked. However, as you notice, if you pick Turtwig or Chimchar, you'll know that you'll always be at a disadvantage against that Starly, Staravia, or Staraptor. For the second battle in Hearthome City and the third battle in Pastoria City, the starter that you pick doesn't make much of a difference either, since, aside from that Starly and the evolved form of the starter, our rival will always have a Pokemon which is super effective to our starter, and another which is the same type as our starter, those being Buizel, Roselia, and Ponyta. So Piplup would be the only starter that isn't weak against Starly, which knows Wing Attack now. Now for the fourth rival battle though, in Canalife City, our rival seems to have caught a wild Heracross, so using our fire starter can make things much easier there. Last but not least, Barry will complete his team with a 6th member being a Snorlax, so using Infernape's fighting type moves can be very useful. In the end, we're pretty much able to sweep half Barry's team with just Infernape's fire and fighting type moves. Lastly, Team Galactic grunts generally use a combination of Bug, Dark, and Poison type Pokemon such as the Zubat line, Wurmple line, Glameow, Purugly, Stunky, Skuntank, so I really wouldn't recommend using a Grass starter or Water type starter when you can burn all those Wurmples, Cascoons, Dustox, Beautyflies, Bronzors, or you can power-up punch those normal type Glameows and Puruglys. Torterra's ground moves could also come in handy against Stunky or Skuntanks, but you'll have to find a replacement if you go for a Water starter, since Piplup doesn't do really well against Galactic Team Grunts. Moving on to the Team Galactic Commanders, which are the sub-leaders of Team Galactic under Cyrus, you're pretty much only able to battle against them twice. Saturn uses Kadabra, and Mars and Jupiter run Golbat, so I wouldn't recommend using Infernape due to it being fighting type. However, the 3 commanders use Bronzor, so if you can outspeed them and avoid its psychic type moves, using a fire starter is a good option here. I'd also recommend using the fighting type moves on your Infernape against Mars's Glameow and Jupiter's Skuntank. Using grass type Pokemon against all these types of Pokemon can be a bit of a headache. Now, battling the Galactic boss Cyrus is a whole different story, mainly because he uses flying type Pokemon such as Murkrow, Honchkrow, Golbat, and Crobat, so you want to avoid sending your Infernape or your Torterra into battle there. Empoleon can do pretty well if you teach it an Ice type move, since it can also tank all those types of attacks. You can use your Infernape against Sneasel and Weavile, but be careful since Cyrus typically completes his team by using a Gyarados that knows Earthquake for electric type coverage. Well, now that you know so much about Sinnoh and the battles that you're gonna find along the way, I feel you're already in a position where you can choose your starter wisely. Obviously, in the end, all comes down to preference, since Pokemon is a team game and you can always find good ways of covering your starter's weaknesses along the road. Whatever your choice is, please let me know in the comment section down below which one you're gonna pick. Some of the good things with Torterra is that it learns ground type moves, so it can be useful against Infernape sometimes, or you could pick Turtwig if you wanted a more complicated version of your gameplay. As much as I love Piplup, and regardless of its popularity, Empoleon and Torterra are just overall very slow compared to some other Pokemon in Sinnoh that can hit them super effectively. Thanks to Empoleon's defensive bulk and Water Steel typing, it is hands down the best defensive Pokemon out of the three due to how good the Steel type is. It would have been phenomenal if it had the ability Competitive instead of Defiant, which boosts the special attack, but that didn't come until Generation 7. So, as you're probably thinking right now, if you watched the whole video, you are right. Chimchar is by far the best starter in the Sinnoh region. Even though Empoleon's type combination is probably the best, Infernape's high attack and speed, its moveset, the rarity of good fire-type Pokemon in Sinnoh, and how well it does in rival battles, gym battles, Elite Four battles, makes it the standout for your Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl team. What am I picking? Well, Piplup and Chimchar are very close for me, but I'm picking Chimchar for my first playthrough for all the reasons that I explained before. I generally like offensive Pokemon more, and also due to the nostalgia reasons since I used Chimchar back in the day. I also think I prefer Shiny Infernape, but Shiny Empoleon looks sick too. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more Pokemon content from me, consider leaving a sub so we can hang out again. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Target it with a oh, Quick Claw with a fire type move. Watch me get the oh no. Alright, raid is over. Gen 2 in-game trade only run. That Onyx will be nice. Yes, the Onyx, dude. The Rocky, right? Alright, boys. We're done. And oh my god, what? Oh, yo, let's go. Oh my god. Are you kidding me, bro? Oh, I called it. I actually called it during the raids. Oh, Jesus. Oh my god. Shiny Hitmonchan. Oh. Dude, no way. Oh, that is 57.